1776, John Hancock, President of the Continental Congress, sent out an urgent summons to all the delegates from the 13 American colonies. Among those speeding toward Philadelphia were two gentlemen from Virginia, Richard Henry Lee and Thomas Jefferson.
Delegates won't know for certain why Hancock has cut short their leave.
They'll soon find out.
It's a bold step, Tom, to declare for independence.
When such Englishmen as Pitt and Burke openly champion our cause in the British Parliament, it's time we declared for something beside useless petitions.
Yes, we have many champions in England. It's the conservatives in our own Congress that I'm worried about. Without a unanimous vote, the resolution cannot be passed.
You'll have to fight for it, Richard, but it'll be worth it. In years to come, our countrymen will be grateful for the priceless heritage of liberty.
Heaven grant that they will know how to keep it.
Delegates Thomas McKean and George Reed were on their way from Delaware.
We want supper for 3, landlord.
And bring us a bottle of your best sack.
I'd some very fine old Madeira, sir.
I said sack.
Yes, sir. Yes, if I'd only known you gentlemen are coming, I'd have...
You're to poison our food, no doubt. If your sentiments agree with the sign over your door.
Well, in times like these, a poor man's got to be careful. Delaware is filled with tourists, sir.
You should know about that.
You said supper for 3, sir.
Yes.
Mr. Caesar Rodney is following us on horseback.
Is Mr. Rodney also a delegate to the Congress?
Yes.
Hurry, man, hurry.
Yes, sir. Sack.
I still can't understand why Hancock called us.
Well, if it's independence they have in mind, Delaware must take a stand with them.
Keene, I'll never vote for so radical a measure. It would destroy us.
Nonsense. It will unite us, as nothing else can. There's Rodney now. I lay you a wager that he'll agree with me.
That firebrand agrees with anything that promises a battle. He should be with General Washington, not in the Congress.
Rodney, you're just in time for supper.
Good.
Did you have luck in Dover?
A world of it. Gentlemen, Mistress Kramer has promised to become my wife.
Matthew Kramer's daughter?
But he's a Tory.
I know, but Betsy's a rebel like ourselves. Any further word from Philadelphia?
No, but I'm convinced that we're to vote on independence.
You really think the time has come? Then I'll vote for it with all my heart. It means our salvation.
It means the ruin of our country.
You sound like a Tory yourself, Mr. Reed.
Well, I'm not, sir. Neither am I a fool.
Save your quarreling till we get to Philadelphia. Gentlemen, I give you a toast to Mistress Betsy Kramer.
And to independence.
From South Carolina came delegates Edward Rutledge and Thomas Lynch.
This summons can mean but one thing, Lynch. They'll try to force through a declaration.
Then we must stop them. Whom can we count on to fight against them?
Pennsylvania, New Jersey, perhaps New York.
No, Jefferson is far too rash. If we let him have his way, our cause is lost.
You're right.
On June 7, 1776, the Continental Congress was in stormy session at Independence Hall in Philadelphia. John Hancock presided as president of the Congress.
Gentlemen, order, order. Please proceed, Mr. Jefferson.
When I first took command of the Army on July 3rd, 1775, I abhorred the idea of a complete break with the mother country. But I am now fully convinced that nothing else will save us. Signed, George Washington.
Mr. President.
The chair recognizes Mr. Lee, delegate from Virginia.
I propose the following resolutions be adopted by this Congress. That these united colonies are and of right ought to be free and independent states. That it is expedient forthwith to take the most effective measures for forming foreign alliances. That a plan of confederation be prepared and transmitted to the respective colonies for their consideration and approbation.
No reasons can be assigned for such resolutions except the reason of every madman, a show of spirit.
Heaven help our people if they ever lose that spirit.
Gentlemen, the chair recognizes Mr. Dickinson, delegate from Pennsylvania.
I protest that to break completely with Great Britain is to experiment with the lives of our countrymen. I would sooner die than agree to it.
Right. The sacred privileges of human rights must always be won by bitter sacrifices. As for myself, like a famous gentleman from Virginia, I say that without liberty, our lives are worthless.
The chair recognizes Dr. Benjamin Franklin, delegate from Pennsylvania.
I second the resolutions as proposed by Mr. Lee of Virginia.
open declaration will be an open challenge to the might of England. I counsel moderation.
Moderation is often the father of procrastination.
Certain resolutions respecting independence being moved and seconded, resolved that their consideration be put to a vote.
I second the resolution as proposed. With Jefferson assigned to write the Declaration, and John Adams and Ben Franklin to advise him, we are bound to have an excellent document.
3 weeks should be ample for a man of Jefferson's literary ability.
That will give us until the 1st of July to work on the Conservatives.
Unfortunately, I must return to Delaware to investigate a Tory uprising in Sussex County.
That's near enough to Dover. At least you'll see Mistress Kramer.
I hope so. But if I'm needed here...
I'll send for you.
It's 80 miles each way, Tom. The road's not too good.
But the rider is.
It looks all right, Thomas. Let's hear how it reads.
When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect of the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation.
The Congress can find no fault with that, Thomas. So far, it's excellent.
Such praise from Ben Franklin is reward enough.
I'm sorry, but that anti-slavery clause must come out.
You know my sentiments about slavery, John.
And I respect them, but New England can't afford to. We've hundreds of vessels engaged in the slave traffic. He's right, Thomas. We must yank that tooth right now. Other days' debate will only give it more time to ulcerate.
Very well. It's out. Which only puts off the trouble to another day.
Unless we obtain a unanimous vote tomorrow, our declaration's bound to be shelved and irrevocably lost.
The delegates from New York are still waiting for their instructions from home. They can't vote until they get them. Maybe it's best for us.
How about Delaware? We've got McKean. Reed's in doubt, so we must have Rodney's vote.
Keene assures me that Rodney's starting back tonight.
Very well. But get on with it, Thomas. We've only just begun.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
All men are created equal.
That they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. That among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. How do you think this sounds? The history of the present King of Great Britain, he has reached his assent to laws the most wholesome and necessary for the public good.
That's better, Tom. To the point.
He has kept among us in times of peace standing armies without the consent of our legislatures.
True, true.
He has given his assent to acts of pretended legislation, for cutting off our trade with all parts of the world, for imposing taxes on us without our consent, for transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretended offenses. He has abdicated government here by declaring us out of his protection and waging war against us. He has plundered our seas, ravaged our coasts, burnt our towns, and destroyed the lives of our people. He is at this time transporting large armies of foreign mercenaries to complete the work of death, desolation, and tyranny already begun.
Nobody.
Well, I'm afraid you'll have to remit me, Remus.
You go get yourself in a powerful lot of trouble, Mr. Rodney, sir.
Betsy. I'm leaving for Philadelphia tomorrow. I couldn't go without saying goodbye.
On the night of July 1st, 1776, there was a secret meeting of loyalists at the Dover home of Matthew Kramer.
Why are you so frightened?
You shouldn't have come here tonight, Caesar.
It's Mr. Rodney, sir. I tried to keep him out, but he wouldn't let me.
Mr. Rodney, what do you mean by forcing your way into my house?
A farewell call, Mr. Kramer. I have news for you. The Continental Congress in session at Philadelphia is about to pass a resolution declaring independence.
Would those blundering fools be stupid enough to cut themselves off completely from the mother country?
We've been dangling by a thread that was bound to break sooner or later.
You'll find the hangman's rope strong enough to hold you. You intend to vote in favor of that resolution?
Of course.
Then don't ever show your face in my house again.
Don't forget that your daughter has promised to marry me.
I'll break that promise myself.
Broken promises have already started one revolution.
Mine will be kept, Caesar.
Get back to your room, Betsy.
I'll do nothing of the kind.
As for you, sir, get out.
First, let me tell you that our Secret Service is aware of the purpose of the meeting being held here tonight, and that every guest under your roof is known to us.
So you're a spy?
I never thought the trail of treachery would lead to your door, but here it is. I want no harm to come to you or to any of your friends. They're Americans, too, and there's room enough in this land for all of us. But if they won't accept liberty, then we'll cram it down their throats.
A message from Mr. McKean, sir. I rode over to your headquarters in Sussex, but they told me I'd find you here.
Thank you. My horse is in Mr. Kramer's stable yard. Have him ready for me, please.
Yes, sir.
More news from Philadelphia?
Yes.
Give me that message, Mr. Rodney.
Why, Oh, well, it seems you have the better of the argument.
Well, listen to this. South Carolina and Pennsylvania won over today. New Jersey delegates replaced by men instructed to vote for resolution. Reed maintaining his stand. Final ballot, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. We desperately need your vote to make it unanimous. That settles it. We'll hold Mr. Rodney and spike their gun.
Father, you wouldn't dare.
Sergeant Peyton, he may be armed.
You're making a very stupid blunder, Mr. Kramer.
I'll chance that.
Raise your hands. Anything to oblige you. My purse is in my left-hand pocket. I wouldn't try that if I were you, sir. Now drop that. Stand over there with your friends. Sorry to have troubled you. Good night, gentlemen. Au revoir, Betsy.
Change horses at the Royal George Inn. The keeper's a Tory, but he owns a fast horse.
80 miles to Philadelphia. 80 miles of wretched roads and Tory sympathizers. One vote could mean the freedom of a nation.
Mr. Rodney, sir.
Is that your horse, landlord?
No, it belongs to a traveler, sir.
Then get me a fresh one. The best you have in the stables, at once.
But, Mr. Rodney, I haven't a horse you'd care to ride.
I'm in no mood for your lies. I'm on urgent business for the Congress.
Oh. Rebel business, then. I'll have nothing to do with it.
You fool. Must I take your useless life as well?
No, I beg of you, Mr. Rodney. I'll get it for you, I'll get it.
Then make it quick.
Yes.
I still have 40 miles to go, and the road's as treacherous as you are.
Yes.
Now get to it.
I'll get it, sir. Good luck, sir! Take the shortcut over the hill and wait for him where the mill road meets the turnpike.
Late the following afternoon, the voting was underway.
You can't delay us any longer. Rodney can't possibly get here in time.
South Carolina! South Carolina votes aye. Aye. Pennsylvania!
Pennsylvania votes aye.
New York!
No instruction.
What?
We request the right to ratify later.
Granted.
Delaware! Delaware is deadlocked. She cannot vote. What? No. Well, we can.
They'll never put the resolution through. They'll have shelved it.
Mr. Chairman has Delaware. Delaware votes aye.
On July 4th, 1776, this company of brave and simple men gathered in their little hall of Congress to ratify a declaration that will live forever in the minds and hearts of men.
Why so large a signature, my friend?
So John Bull may read my name without his spectacles.
We must hang together, or else most assuredly we'll all hang separately.
You're lucky, Ben, with all that beef to weigh you down. I'll be kicking long after you've given up the ghost. Now, John.
This day will be the most memorable epoch in the history of our country. It will be commemorated from one end of the continent to the other as the day of deliverance from this time forward, forevermore.
We, therefore, the representatives of the United States of America, in General Congress assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do, in the name and by the authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are, and of right ought to be, free and independent states. And that, as free and independent states, they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and do all other acts and things which independent states may of right do. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor.